Can I make a small point before we do move forward?
Yeah.
But like to the point I was making earlier about the way people are nowadays, the greatest example I could think of is Woodstock. That could happen nowadays. It wouldn't happen. It's not happening.
It could.
You didn't see it. You didn't see 100,000 people roll up to Rolling Loud who weren't supposed to be there. And then what? All the biggest artists in the fucking industry. You don't see 100,000 people rolling up to "There's Something in the Water." You don't see 100,000. Like you don't see all these people breaking Coachella. Baychella. I'm sorry, you didn't Woodstock.
But not.
You didn't have 100,000 extra people trampling the gates.
Most of the issues that people have in the society are divided by their groups. And if
because that's the way it's fed to you.
Yeah, of course. No, but obviously
it's digested. Like
use police brutality as an example. There's a certain segment that looks at it more than another because it doesn't directly affect them. Now, until it affects them, then they'll be like, okay, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna get behind this.
Yeah.
So,
that's unfortunate.
And it comes to anything, like Flint, Michigan.
What else is the thing is, these things were still happening then, though, when Woodstock happened. And people were able to do that. See, what I'm saying is, it's not just on anyone, it's on everyone. It's the way us as a society are now.
You got to speak more specific about certain things. It didn't just happen because it happened.
Yeah.
And what was Woodstock? A bunch of people smoking weed? What did Woodstock actually stop?
It's a bunch of, basically, the whole... everything from civil rights.
But everybody wasn't there.
No, not everyone wasn't there. But what I'm saying is, what it was is this thing that was done on that was meant to be like, I don't know, maybe 10, 20,000 people. They had a certain permit, whatever. This little town outside of New York, whatever. You know, they paid this person, used the property, chopped down the fields, built a stage, whatever. 100,000 plus people within the first day and a half showed up because of the lineup of the show and how iconic it was. But at the same time, what all these artists what they represented and the whole movement that was going on at that time. And to the second day, the guy who was running the thing was like, all right, well, I'm apologizing basically to ticket holders now, but this is now a free show. Because basically there's nothing you can do about it. They shut a whole town down. They shut the fucking whole highway down. You know what I mean? Like, that would not happen nowadays.
It actually would, but what difference did it make?
I think what people don't
That's
understand.
what I'm saying. What difference did it make? A bunch of people actually went for a concert, right?
Yeah.
That, talk about social issues.
Check this out, though.
But what happened after that?
Check this out. Let me say this, man. A lot of people talk about revolution, right?
The thing is, we can't romanticize the past.
So check this out.
A lot of people talk about a lot of things they were talking about are the same things people are still fighting for today.
Obviously.
Minus marijuana. It's like they gave you marijuana, so...
What? But look how long the marijuana fight was.
Yeah.
And look how racial it became.
What was Woodstock, 67, 68?
Look how many lives. When a lot of people talk about revolution, and they talk about, like, for example, what you're saying. Oh, let's have a revolt. Let's do a revolution.
I didn't say that.
Not necessarily like that. Like even like a soft.
I wasn't like anarchy. I'm just saying.
But this is happening all over the world.
Anti-systematic people are the only thing that keep things in check.
What people don't so like it's good to have the mentality, but the thing is that we haven't as a society, or people who kind of want this.
Is Rage Against the Machine one of your favorite groups of all time?
Yes, but what I'm asking, what I'm saying is what happens after the revolution. So we haven't thought about what happens after.
Yeah, you gotta have a plan about
so Cuba happened.
So we kind of like have to have a plan.
What happened in Cuba?
And kind of
what happened in Cuba?
Well, what happened in Cuba?
They ran a bunch of people out. They ran out there.
It depends the way you read
the history and
the way you look at it.
That was a military coup.
What they did was attempt to do something where they were no longer on a central bank standard globally.
Yeah.
They were on their own standard. And because of that, all of the main corporations of the planet, which are the main countries
what year we talking?
that are part of the central bank system, boycotted them and fucking...
What year are we speaking
what's it
about?
called? What's it called when you cut the Trade Act off? There's a certain word
what
for
year?
it.
What year? Are we talking about when
Cold War years.
When Castro took over?
It would have been, right around that, yeah.
Okay, so that's what, 50 what? Or even before that?
Something like that.
Right?
Yeah, I think it was 60s, right?
But that was
the Cold War.
But it is
so it was like what, like 57 to 62, some shit like that.
The Cold War continued up till like 89.
Yeah, but different false Cold Wars as well.
But it was
and the Cold War that happened here was never really a Cold War. It was just something was happening in another continent, and we need to be persuaded to feel about this certain way.
America or Canada?
The Western world.
Canada's not part of the Cold War.
Because revolution isn't cool.
With Cuba, by the way.
Yeah, they're not a part of the Cold War.
If you're getting off the central banking system complex, then revolution isn't cool.
You're always talking the central banking shit.
The thing is this,
right? That's what runs the world, though. Everything that runs local, that's gonna be you rather find out a way to heal it?
No,
But you gotta remember, the Cold War was more about the fight against communism. It wasn't about the central banking system. It might have included it, but it mostly was a fight against communism.
Exactly, but why is there a fight against communism?
Why
is there a fight against a country that really doesn't have a whole lot to do with you overthrowing their government?
Because they had a lot of influence. They're getting influenced by Russia.
And a lot of people are... Why do you need to assassinate or destroy the Black Panthers? The same way you, like, all these different things.
The threat that it has to capitalism.
It's a threat.
It has a threat.
But you have to ask, why is it a threat?
Because they have something set up in place and they don't want you fucking.
Is it a threat to the United States though, or is it a threat to something bigger? Is the question.
To the money.
It's not just America.
The money.
That's the same shit is happening in
It's the central banking system, and that's why that's important. Because everything goes back to the fucking head of the dragon eventually.
Okay, let me ask you a question. When did the central banking system start?
That happened, around the... Was it mid-1700s?
Mid-1700s, okay. Perfect.
Around that time?
Perfect. Because if you look at the Berlin conference, when they divided up Africa into little nations to keep it, suppressed.
Yeah.
After World War I?
No, that's before World War I.
Okay.
That's when they colonized Africa. That's why so many places are speaking
It's the
French.
same way as if you look at before the Queen crowned us and officially made us land officially on a global atlas scale.
I didn't get high with
before we basically were forced to be our own country on a global atlas scale by certain people who wrote the world a certain way. The way that Europe used to write us on the map was this whole continent up until where the American borders basically were was Hudson Bay Co. Until literally, if you look, Hudson Bay Co. was incorporated at least 100, 120 years prior to Canada even became its own country. This was just a fucking... Literally, a company to them. Where they just, that's it.
Toronto's
and then eventually you had enough population here where you couldn't just treat this like a giant corporation anymore. You had to give it some fucking rights. So you stole the native term Canada and called it Canada and changed the spelling.
It's still controlled as a country.
But
not as a country, as a corporation.
Hudson Bay Co., British family, all that is hand in hand with the central banking system.
This is still a corporation. Don't be fooled and pretend like it's a country.
We are a corporation.
There's no difference. It's just...
Our product ID is our social insurance number.
That's it.
All right, man. But on that fucking note, let's shout out to the Toronto Raptors for fucking murdering it last night. You know what I'm saying? We tied the fucking series. Shout out to Kawhi. Shout out to Gucci Man for showing up with that dirty ass chain.
He's a dirty player. But
oh man, the Raptors.
Golden State Warriors for the 3.
This ties into something
else. You had a Golden State jersey last week,
motherfucker. That's my team.
Shout out to the Raptors, though.
Okay.
Is it
we're going to the finals.
Straight.
Is it disrespectful? Yo, is it disrespectful that the cameras didn't pan Merc?
Who?
They what?
Was he there?
Nobody cares about Mercury's at that.
But do they?
Not at this level. Not the level that he's at.
I don't think they were.
He's popping.
Where would they put the camera on him?
No.
You don't think?
He probably.
You think they TMZ now?
He probably.
Did either one of them have a fucking $1 million chain around their neck?
Right.
Yo, bro, that chain alone. Come on, he was.
Did they pan it
out? If Papoose was there, they would have scanned the Papoose real quick.
Have.
Yo, what's up? It's Pat.
I love Papoose.
Shout out Papoose.
Funkication.
And you only ever seen his head without a hat once, ever.
Yeah, that's very rare.
It's kind of like myself.
Oh, man. I bet his hairline is like Tory Lane's.
Nah, he's got a regular hairline, bro.
What about Neo?
Hold on, no. Papoose, everybody thought Papoose' hairline was pushed back, kind of like mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a push back hairline. That's what happens when he had dreads and braids. That nigga got a fucking regular hairline.
I pull the gat out, you be scared, man. I push your wig back like Dustin Wareham.
Oh, you fucking dick, bitch.
Wow. I thought he was kicking somebody else's rhyme. If you guys would do like a KOTD shit here,
and just yell at each other.
Okay,
maybe in the future.
We can figure something out, man. We can figure something out. That'd be hilarious.
So I don't know. What else we gotta talk about?
Shit.
Well, did we take a week off? Were we here last week? Oh yeah, we had Stitch. Stitch likes to chat.
Oh, that was a dope show.
Hip chat likes to chat. Make some fucking noise.